Hello, my wonderful clan. How are you this wonderful evening? My very good name is Christabel, and this is my YouTube channel, Doing Life with Chris. Now, if you're new here, please grab a chair and pour yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you partake, because here we learn, we grow, we experience life, and we navigate life together. So today, on the side of fine dining, we are having creamy mashed potatoes baked in ground beef and other jazz. I don't know, maybe it has a professional name to it, and actually I think it does have a professional name to it, but because I do not know the professional name, I am just calling it baked creamed mashed potatoes. And then we are going to layer it with some ground beef, which I am going to fry, and I will show you through the entire process. Before we get there, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you press on the notification bell and press on the subscription button, so that every time we upload new content, you will be notified. So come over so that I can introduce to you my ingredients. I have my wooden stick, and in the interest of time, I went ahead, peeled my potatoes, whatever kind of potatoes you have. So go ahead and peel your potatoes however much you want. Mine were about 1.5 kgs of potatoes. I peeled and boiled them nice and tender. You can see that my potatoes are already boiled, and I only put salt in the boiling water. So boil until your potatoes are tender. Now, kwa sababu we'll be mashing them, it doesn't matter whether they break up like this. In fact, it is better when they break up like this. And then here I have about 3 medium-sized tomatoes and 2 medium-sized red capsicum, which I have roughly chopped, and I am going to be grinding in this grinder. So you'll see that in a few. And then here I have a few leaves of green onion and 1 shallot, medium-sized. Then here I have breadcrumbs, here I have salt, I have a glass, this is a glass of lactose-free milk. And then here I have lots and lots and lots and lots of yummy-licious, creamy, unsalted butter, just the way I love it. And can you substitute butter in this recipe with margarine? My bold answer would be no. This is one of the very few circumstances and instances where I tell you, please stick to butter, because you can never substitute the taste of butter in creamed mashed potatoes. So please go ahead and use butter. And then here I have my baking dish, which I will line. What will I do to this? I am going to grease it with a little bit of this butter, and then sprinkle the breadcrumbs in the greased pan, and then I will show you all about it, because you will stick with me until the very end. And then, did I say I have salt? Yes, I did. Guys, I thought I was recording, kumbe I had not. Kumbe I wasn't recording. So I have already gone ahead and mashed my potatoes. I have just added my last bit of milk, because I want them creamy and borderline runny. I don't want hard potatoes. So as you can see, I have already used about 3/4 of my milk already, and I already put in 1 stick of butter. That was about 100 grams of butter. So I am just going to continue, and a little bit of salt. I added a little bit of salt because I realized the salt I had put while I was boiling was not enough for my potatoes. So I have just mashed, nothing else. So you haven't missed much. My onions, right? And then I will add garlic, about a teaspoon. Put as much or as little as your heart desires. This, I'm going to add all my spices. I am using cardamom, tandoori masala, and nutmeg. For the spices, just use whatever it is that your taste buds agree with. For me, I am just going to use what I have told you. So about a teaspoon of nutmeg, cardamom, that was cardamom. Then about 1 whole tablespoon of tandoori masala. And then about half a teaspoon of nutmeg. At this point, my ground beef is a little bit dry, and because I don't want to add water to it, I am going to add my pureed vegetables. So I cook that down. So I'm going to cover this and cook it down on low heat for about 3 minutes. As our meat cooks down, let's get on with the other process. And that is the process of greasing my baking dish. This is a fairly fast dish, very fast dish. By the way, hii hata huwezi tumia more than an hour in the kitchen. Right from peeling the potatoes, boiling them, cooking your meat. Huwezi tumia an hour. Ukitumia an hour sasa hata wewe hapo siwezi kuelewa sana. Alright. So here we have our breadcrumbs, and I just want to sprinkle the breadcrumbs on our baking tray for the bottom and top crunch. So 1 layer at the bottom, right? And na kwenu kuna inzi kama huko kwenu wadau. It's the rainy season. The rainy season comes with its fair share of problems and complications. So one of those problems is the upsurge of these flies. So there we have layered our ground beef, and it is looking, how is it looking? And therefore we are on our last agenda, which is layering our last portion of potatoes. Here is the deal. We are going to use this remaining butter to just spread over the top. Of course, it's going to melt and cover all the places that we will leave out. And for the final touch, some more breadcrumbs. Imagine that.